We begin this hour in Africa's most populous nation, where the Supreme Court of Nigeria has dismissed an insinuation that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, is subjected to interrogation by the Department of State Service over alleged pro-Wike political remarks. The Apex Court also debunked or refuted claims that 5 justices of the court have demanded resignation from office by the CJN over the same issue. In a statement by the Director of Information and Press of the court, Festus Akonde, stated that the Apex Court is warning those peddling the rumors to desist in their own interest. The reaction of the Supreme Court is in response to a publication by an online medium which reported that Justice Ariwoola has been grilled by DSS over his alleged political remarks in Port Harcourt at a public function. According to the statement, it has become very obvious that those with sinister motives have perfected plans to unleash all manner of coordinated attacks on judicial officers, starting from the CJN with a view to arm twisting and blackmailing and ridiculing them to silence, ultimately for their ulterior motives. For more on this, let's talk to a lawyer, Jide Ologun, who is joining me via Zoom from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News this hour. What do you make of all the situations surrounding the Chief Justice of Nigeria frolicking with politicians and making some political statements? Mr. Jide Ologun, let me hear if you can hear me, Barrister. Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you clearly enough.
Okay, let me try to. Let's try to confirm. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but I appreciate if it's louder so that I can hear your question clearly.
Okay, I guess that will be fixed. Well, so I was trying to find out your thoughts as regards the issues surrounding the CJN, who has been accused of frolicking with politicians and also making some political body languages and also statements.
Thank you very much. You see, let's again visit the foundation of this call for the resignation of the Chief. We have the integrity of the People's Democratic Party, talking about the 5 governors of Rivers State, Wike, Seyi Makinde of Oyo, Samuel Otom of Benue, Okezie Ekpezuwa of Abia, and Ugwuanyi of. And then the Chief Justice of Nigeria and some senior judicial officers were in Rivers to inaugurate 2 buildings to accommodate the Federal Judicial Service Commission South Liaison Office, and of course the Mary Odili Judicial Institute. And it was at the dinner organized to honor them that the CJN was alleged to have made a statement expressing his happiness that Seyi Makinde of Oyo State is one of the G5. And of course, Seyi Makinde already hosted the CJN. Fact that the CJN just went into office. But now, one of the statements made by the CJN is interpreted as endorsing, getting involved in politics. But he also is from Isheyin. And that is why we are where we are now. And the claims of the group asking for the resignation of the CJN is that it's not possible to have a successful democracy without a fair and impartial judiciary, and that it's not possible to have a fair and impartial judiciary that lacks independence in partisan politics activity. So, and what is our trial here is whether the CJN can be trusted to be neutral, and basically and traditionally, justices are expected in many occasions to be neutral and keep quiet concerning situations. And the Supreme Court has responded that he must have been interpreted out of context. And of course, that he is not partisan in any way or manner. So, and the DSS has also claimed not to be investigating the Chief Justice of the Federation.
Well,
So that
52.
is where we are now.
Well, 52 Northern Group and some other leaders have actually called for the CJN to resign its position because of some of these allegations. Do you think it has actually got to that level for him?
Why? I mean, as a political is when the elections are approaching, you expect something like this. And don't forget that the resignation of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Tanko Muhammad, came after some allegations that came out of the Supreme Court itself. And he resigned 18 months ahead of his official retirement time in December 2023, when he was expected to clock 70 years of age. And here we are now. The CJN is not admitting that he's partisan. And that is why, in a way, I brought the fore again, the foundation of all this, so that the picture can be clear to all those who are trying to perceive what is going on. He passed a comment at a dinner organized in his honor and some top judicial officers who were in Rivers State to carry out official functions. And of course, as a citizen, Nigeria, as an indigene of Oyo State, he must have expressed the fact that, okay, Seyi Makinde, my governor, is part of G5, maybe in a light mood. And then, of course, at moments like this, public officers should be careful where and what they express, because definitely there are journalists all around seeking for what to pick and amplify. So that statement of expressing his his happiness that his governor is part of a movement, because he was really alluding to the fact that Wike is doing well in Rivers State with the infrastructural development. So expecting that Makinde also will learn from that and continue to develop Oyo State. But politically speaking, that has been interpreted differently by those who picked that statement by coming out to say he is endorsing. An endorsement in public relations, it's a very heavy concept. But like I said earlier too, the Supreme Court already came out to say that the Chief Justice of the Federation is not partisan in any form and maintains his, impartiality as the #1 law officer within the bench.
Right, very quickly.
On the highest bench.
Very quickly. Sorry to butt in. Going forward, what would you advise? Because, and then first and foremost, what implication do you think some of these allegations will have on the person of the Chief Justice himself? And going forward, what would be your advice, to someone like the CJN? Because certainly after 2023 elections, there would be some litigations which might involve any of these, personalities, mentioned in this allegation. So what would be your advice going forward to him?
My advice would be based on the dictum of Lord Hewart in the case of Rex versus Sussex justices. Lord Hewart said justice must not only be done, but must also be seen to have been done. So for those who occupy these sensitive offices, quite a number of times it may be safer to just keep quiet, even while attending occasions. I know that traditionally, even if your uncle is a judge and you're flying together in the same aircraft, you will not greet him in too familiar a manner if you are a lawyer, because anybody can interpret that to, oh, so you are familiar with this person. We've had cases where justices recuse themselves from cases. So let's be careful about our utterances. But then, this is subject to investigation and proper interpretation. But basically, the Supreme Court has come out to say he is not partisan.
Absolutely.
And how far this call for resignation will go is another question. And I believe it may just fizzle out at the point.
Well, it remains to be seen how far this definitely will go in the issue that had been raised in the polity. Lawyer and public affairs analyst Jide Ologun, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you. God bless Nigeria.